And now, once again, from our BioLife Plasma Services family interview area, we welcome Joni Smith.
Well, thanks you guys so much. I'm with Amanda, and Everett is our star today. He's our 2-year-old star. First of all, thanks for coming from Viroqua this morning.
Thank you.
You brought your dad, you brought Grandpa with you.
I did. I brought my helper.
And Grandpa was really happy to see that in our little hospitality room, we had Big Boar barbecue breakfast for him.
Oh, yeah. That was payment for the
Yeah,
day.
yeah, that was a good payment. Yeah. Family support is huge. We need it.
Yep. I have family support from both sides. Everybody's been more than willing to help where they need with our girls. You know, when he's got doctor's appointments, you know, we have a whole community and just our family alone that can help us. And then with our friends, we have people who are, you know, more than willing and able to help us with our big girls.
You have two beautiful. No, Grandpa's over there. I know.
got on the
you
elevator.
have two beautiful girls. You have Belle and Lily.
Yes.
And Belle was named after.
Beauty and the Beast.
Of course she was. Of course she was.
Yep.
And Everett is your baby.
Everett is my baby.
2 years old.
Yep.
Let's start with Everett's story. How does it start?
At 20 weeks, we found out that he was going to have hydronephrosis, is just water on the kidneys. That one, I wasn't scared with that. It was kind of just more. We'll take that as it comes. I have a cousin that's a pediatrician, so I called her and she gave me all the, the dumbed down version of it. So that way, because doctor lingo is hard to comprehend in the moment, and she told me everything that I could expect and that way, and then when we were 30 weeks along, we got an ultrasound every week from then on just to check his kidneys. And after he was born, they instantly checked his kidneys just to make sure with an ultrasound. But that's when, right after he was born, 4 hours into it, that's when he got the diagnosis of trisomy 21, which is Down syndrome.
And what was your reaction when you heard that?
I was instantly in denial because I had done all the tests that I was supposed to do. I wanted to have all the information, and so when they said that, I looked at the doctor and I said, no, that can't be. That's wrong. I've had the tests. I've done everything I was supposed to do. I had a 1 in 6,000 chance of having a child with Down syndrome at 27 years old with 2 other babies, and so I was instantly in denial. My husband was more, what do we do from here? What are the next steps? So we kind of played off each other's strengths, and that was his strength became my strength, and we took it from there. You know, we let the doctors kind of guide us in the path that we needed to take.
Has Everett had other issues that have come up?
He was born with a VSD, so ventricular septum defect, if I say that right. He had a hole in his heart that was sending blood to the wrong parts of his heart, and that closed officially when he was 6 months old. They did a ultrasound, and they said it closed. So that was the best news ever because we found out he wasn't going to need open heart surgery, and that is something that is unfortunately very common with babies with Down syndrome is heart abnormalities, and a lot of babies don't even leave the hospital without having open heart surgery when they're born. So that was a huge relief, but his kidneys, however, are still ongoing, and unfortunately something that's still kind of a worry because they're not getting better. He had a surgery at 3 months old in July at UW-Madison, and they essentially, he has a defect in one of his ureters that's kind of like a kink in a hose, if you want to think of it that way. They cut the kink out, and it was like attaching a straw to a garden hose is how different it was. So that was hard, and they don't want to use the word unsuccessful necessarily with his surgery, but his nephrologist, Dr. Bartosh, has been a wonderful advocate for him because she said, this is not how I want it to look. It needs to be better. We need to fix it. It's going to be better. I want it to look this way, and we can get it this way. And I love her because she will not take no for an answer when it comes to my child. So with other urologists, I wasn't happy with one urologist's opinion. I said, no, I don't like that. I feel like there's more to it. So she helped me get a second opinion. And then with that second opinion, we got another opinion from a pediatric urologist at Rochester, and she agreed with the second opinion that we got at UW-Madison, which was a relief, but it just means every 3 months we have a renal ultrasound done, and that's hard now that he's big and he
Does it
likes
hurt?
to move.
Is it hard on him?
No, it's just an ultrasound, but he has to be held down, and it's a workout day. Let me tell you, it's like
He doesn't like to be confined.
no. He's a typical 2-year-old boy, and that way he likes to run, he likes to play, he jumps, he gets hurt, he cries, and then he bounces right back like rubber.
You know, just in the couple minutes that we've been talking, I've heard medical terms that I haven't ever heard before. You've mentioned at least 6 or 7 specialists since our conversation began. This is a whole new way of life, and you have 2 healthy girls at home.
Yep.
Then all of a sudden,
Yeah, it was a whole new world. You know, you kind of fear as a parent when they tell you, you know, you're going to be seeing an endocrinologist, an otolaryngologist, a urologist, nephrologist, you know, all these terms that you've heard of, but you don't really know what they mean, and you just kind of worry, like, am I smart enough to understand everything they're telling me, and will I know what to do from then on? So I bring my phone out, and I have them recorded on my phone, so that way if I miss anything, I just play it back and be like, what did he say again? I can't remember, you know, what does this mean? And so I have it just as a little bit insurance, that way that I can remember everything, and that way I can reiterate it to my husband properly, so that way when he asks, I can say, I think this is what he said, because there's just so many things.
and with so many appointments, how has things changed in your household? Are you still able to, do you work outside the home?
I don't.
Yeah.
I stay home with Everett, and when he was born, we were living in Prairie du Chien, so we were driving an hour and a half one way to come up here to see all these specialists, and so a 3-hour drive. That scared me.
Yeah, I know it's scary, but that's a good thing. That's the phone ringing, because
okay.
that's a pledge coming in. We already have 7 calls. We haven't even started to ask for calls yet.
Great.
Oh my gosh. We've already had 7 calls since we've been, oh my goodness. That is wonderful.
That's so great.
Yeah. So you moved to Viroqua?
We moved to Viroqua in July to be closer to family and help, because we were really far away from everybody down there, and it was hard because he has an appointment probably once a week, if not twice a week. He has birth to 3, 6 times a month. We have in Crawford County, we just left all of his therapies down there and moved up here, and we miss his ladies down there because we've had them since 3 months old, and his physical therapist, you know, she's been there since the start. So it's been an adjustment to move to Viroqua, but the good outweighs the bad in that way. We're closer to family. I have a sister who's pretty much on call at all times to help me with my girls, and my mom is close, my grandma is close, everybody's close, and we're closer to my husband's family. They live way up north Wisconsin, but it cuts down an hour and a half on that drive, yeah.
So Children's Miracle Network hospitals, how did they enter into this whole picture?
When he was born, I had called a friend of mine, Andrea. Her son Logan was here yesterday.
That's Logan's mom.
Yes.
Okay.
I called her because I had just kind of broke down, and I didn't know what to do. I felt scared, and she's so strong. She's such an advocate for her son, so I called her. I said, I need your help. I don't know what to do. So she actually came to the hospital with Logan and Avery to see Everett, and you know, she told me, you know, just take one day at a time, don't worry about it. And then she said, remember everything Children's Miracle Network has done for me. And I've always kind of kept that in my mind. And then before we left the hospital, a social worker came in and told us about Children's Miracle Network and said, if you need anything, don't be afraid to call us. Don't be afraid to connect with us in some way, to ask for help, because there's nothing wrong with it. And
Did you feel a little funny about that?
I did. They gave us a gas card on the way home. I said, you know, we were going to be going home anyway. I can't take this. And they're like, just take it. And, then when he had his surgery in Madison, they helped us with hotel stay and gas and food. And you do feel funny about taking money from an organization because you feel like there are way worse cases and kids who may need it more. But they helped us, and the meals are the biggest part because you realize, oh my gosh, I haven't eaten in 12 hours, but I
Right.
can't leave this baby. I
Right.
can't walk away. But then it's like, well, I've got $5 here that I can go get a sandwich with, and it helps.
You know
a
what's so
lot.
strong is a bond between a friend and a mother. You taking medical advice from all of the specialists and doctors, going online, doing all those things, and then when you didn't know what to do, you called your girlfriend.
I did. She's been through a lot with Logan, and she knew just what to say to me. She's like, you cannot worry about tomorrow, because if you do, you'll go crazy. You just have to worry about today. And that's, you don't want to go home and Google everything that could go wrong. And I did, like everybody does. And,
Yep.
and she's just said, she goes, you are the only advocate for your child, you and your husband. She goes, this is your job and you will do great. And she's just the best friend. My son just fell, but he's all right.
Oh, that's right. Grandpa will pick him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good. That is really good sound advice. And you know what? You may be helping somebody someday.
Yeah, I mean, I feel as though when I see my sister's baby had a surgery when he was 3 months old, and she was scared, and I said, you'll be fine, just don't worry about tomorrow. And I felt kind of nice being able to just even pay it forward with that just small advice, because it does help to hear that.
And what you're doing now is you're helping out Children's Miracle Network hospitals by coming and sharing your story,
Yeah.
Everett's story, your family story. 781-1477, 1-800-853-6889. We have 7 calls. We're going to take as many as we can. We're going to shoot for 10 and see what happens. 781-1477. Everett is absolutely adorable.
Oh, thank you.
And he's learned some sign language. How do you do that?
I just got a book on sign. I was always interested in signing in high school and in college, and I've always known the alphabet. They teach you that when you're really young, but he knew more. There were just certain ones I knew more, and thank you. And now, just with his speech delay, it's hard because I want to give him some freedom to tell me what he needs and wants. And when he's all done, he tells me when he's all done, or when he needs to be changed, he'll tell me.
What's the sign for all done?
It's kind of like a variation. You kind of like flick your hands away, like I'm done with this. But his is a little mixed because he kind of does this, so it could be clapping too.
Yeah.
But he has a certain sign for my girls. He has a sign for his aunt.
He has a sign for thank you.
Yes. Yep. There's thank you and you're welcome. You just do like that, and he catches on really quick because I show it to him once, and I said, "Do you want an apple?" And so now he just violently looks at me and does this when he wants an apple.
I need an apple over here.
It's like, how many times do I have to tell you? But yeah, and with Children's Miracle Network, I do want to say they gifted us with a fence.
A fence?
A fence. Everett has boundary. He doesn't have any sort of like danger awareness. He would run right into the street. He would, I mean, a lot of 2-year-olds would, but at the same time, if they hear stop, they could be alarmed and stop. He wouldn't. I saw him, we were at a friend's house, and they had a chain link fence, and he climbed it. He's very physically active, and he climbed that fence, and it scared me. And so I had talked to our physical therapist and his pediatrician, and I said, I don't know what to do. I feel as though I am never comfortable being anywhere with him, especially even in our own backyard, because I'm afraid he'll get away if I have to pick up something and put my eyes off of him for 10 seconds. He could easily get hurt. So our physical therapist, Nancy Key, and our doctor, Dr. Nike, wrote recommendation letters to Children's Miracle Network, and they accepted instantly. It was crazy. I felt funny asking, but I just said, this is just something that I can't provide for him, because a fence for a big backyard, that's thousands of dollars. And
just when you think you've heard every single possible either stroller or remodeling a bathroom, just when you think you've heard it all, haven't heard help with a fence.
Yeah, it
Isn't
was
that amazing? The ways that they can help you. Every
Every
time we
little
talk
thing
to a family,
helps.
we learn something new.
Yeah, the fence is my husband is just finishing the fence. We have it half done this weekend, and I set him outside and I watched him go over to it and realized he couldn't get out and turned around and started playing, and I just felt like this huge like weight lifted off of me because I could be outside with my child and not have to worry that he was going to run out into the street or run out into the neighbor's driveway and get hurt. And it's just to know that he's going to have a little bit of freedom that way without me constantly, behind him and guiding him. And, this way he has freedom to play.
Some of the words that we've been hearing the last 2.5 days, relief, freedom, being able to take a breath, sit down for a minute. These are huge things. Children's Miracle Network hospitals find ways to make this happen. Respite care.
Oh, yeah. You don't ever really think that you're ever going to breathe easy again when you're told that your whole world can change, and you don't know what your future holds in this. So you feel like you're constantly holding your breath and waiting for, something bad to happen. And then when you get those, even just those small moments when you can watch your child feel normal and feel happy and just be outside playing.
What's next for Everett?
He will turn 3 in March, so he will start the 3-year-old program in school. And so I don't think I'm ready for that because he's never been away from me. So
that's going to be a big one.
That'll be hard, but the first day of school with even my big girls, I cried walking out, and the next day they're, I'm like, get out, the bell's gonna ring, get out. So I know it's just one day, but it's gonna be hard, but I'm excited for him because he loves to play. He loves to do new things. He loves people. He's my huggy. He doesn't. My girls give me hugs, but he hugs me every 5 minutes. He has to get a hug and a kiss every 5 minutes. So
you've done a great job. We know your family now.
Yeah.
We know your family. Thank you so much for coming in, because the way that we're doing this, telling these stories, is allowing people to give from their heart at 781-1477. You're listening to the Children's Miracle Network Radiothon, a service of the La Crosse Radio Group.